Our last topic to cover is going to be vertebrates in kingdom Animalia. So vertebrates are animals that have a backbone or spine. Why are vertebrae important, you may be asking? They are important because it provides support, protects the dorsal nerve or spinal cord, and it provides a site for muscle attachment. Vertebrates also have a protective skull that encases and protects the brain. Examples are fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals, all of which we will cover today. Fish is the first class of vertebrates that we will begin discussing. Fish all have gills that they use to breathe underwater. They absolutely use fins to swim or move. They have a single looping circulatory system with a two-chambered heart as opposed to a four-chamber like you and I. And they are cold-blooded. The technical term for that is ectothermic. We have many different types of fish. Jawless is thought to have come first. Examples would be hagfish and lampreys. Cartilaginous fish came next. Examples of that might be sharks, rays, and skates. Next came bony fish. So we have garfish, perch, sunfish, bass, minnows, angelfish, and several others. This picture shows lampreys that have attached themselves to a fish. So they are parasitic. These are examples of jawless fish. You have your hagfish. Cool thing about these guys is that their main source of defense is being slimy. So once caught, just like it shows here on the bottom left-hand side, they kind of knot themselves up to try and escape their predators. We also have lampreys on the right. So the cool thing about these guys, or not so cool if you're their prey, but they have this mouthful of teeth, as you can see here, and they use those to go ahead and attach themselves to their prey. Cartilaginous fish come next. So we have an example of the bamboo shark and the basking shark. We also have a wide variety of skates and rays. You have the spotted eagle ray and a variety of others. Here are the examples of the skates. It's just a cousin of the ray. Next up come bony fish. So down there on the bottom left-hand side, you have a picture of something called a coelacanth. They were thought to have been extinct because they lived so long ago. However, it was recently that they found one, actually a variety of them, deep in the ocean floor. Here we have a variety of anglerfish. So up on the top left-hand side, you have a female anglerfish that actually has a male anglerfish attached to the bottom right-hand side of it. So these guys are actually parasitic to the female, but it is good for the female whenever they want to mate. They have the male attached to them. So these guys have a variety of adaptations. We have a flounder on the right-hand side, whose adaptation is to go ahead and, yes, I understand that it's sideways, but its adaptation is to go ahead and be able to go and travel down on the bottom of the ocean floor, kind of be camouflaged with that sand. And then at the way bottom left, you have these little fish that have bacteria living in its eye sockets. And so they actually illuminate the area and attract little prey to that fish. So it is a mutualistic relationship. Amphibians is the next type of class. So these guys spend at least part of their life in the water. They lay their eggs in the water. They have legs, lungs, most of them have lungs, and a three-chamber heart, so we're getting a little bit more complex with a double looping circulatory system. They are still cold-blooded, so ectothermic, but these guys may undergo metamorphosis, so going from a tadpole to a frog, for example. And then other examples of amphibians might be frogs, toads, salamanders, and newts. So again, we have a wide variety of amphibians here. Poison dart frogs. We have a newt and a salamander. Reptiles and birds come next. So included in here might be dinosaurs, lizards, snakes, turtles, ducks, penguins, and many more. So dinosaurs, when they were here on Earth, they were reptiles. They were considered to be reptiles. But some of them, scientists are now learning, may have been warm-blooded upon studying them a little bit more. So early birds were most likely very much like reptiles, just with feathers. So the Archaeopteryx is that first link, is the earliest bird fossil ever found. It had a long reptilian tail and no keeled sternum or neeled sternum to attach its flight muscle, so it did not fly. So here we have pictures of what the Archaeopteryx look like after replicas being made from their fossils. Now moving on to modern reptiles. So modern reptiles, still cold-blooded, so ectothermic, watertight skin and eggs adapted to land. So some guys may have a 4-chambered heart like you and I, or a 3-chambered heart with a partial division of the ventricle and a double looping circulatory system. And these guys absolutely had lungs, or have lungs, I should say. So you have lizards, snakes, turtles, tortoises, crocodiles, alligators, and tuataras. So here we just have an example of what a snake would look like. This is a Colombian boa. What a snake would look like when it is dissected. So as you can see, it's very much like the mammal, like you and I. Has a heart, has a stomach, the liver, the lungs, ribs, so on and so forth. So highly, highly organized organism. Here we just have a variety of lizards, snakes, turtles. Up above you have the red-eared slider. Down below you have the snapping turtles and the green sea turtle. Here we have a wide variety of pictures of tortoises. And this one to the bottom right-hand side, actually, I do believe it's the same species of tortoise. One is just newborn versus the other one that is hundreds of years old. Crocodiles and alligators actually fit into this category as well. And here's a little background information about the tuataras. So these guys are very ancient. It's the only survival of the large group of reptiles that roamed the earth at the same time the dinosaurs did. So it hasn't changed in its form much in over 225 million years. Birds come next. That's the next class of organisms. So birds, in addition to having feathers, now they have that sternum that allows them to fly, to take flight. They have a strong, lightweight skeleton. They are warm-blooded now, so we're adding something new, which is called endothermic, as opposed to exothermic that the others were. So these guys do have the 4-chambered heart, double-looping circulatory system, and highly efficient lungs. So the examples, any bird you can really think of, but songbirds, hummingbirds, woodpeckers, parrots, eagles, ducks, penguins. So here are just some examples of some birds. So we have a bird of paradise, I believe on the top right. Some flamingos, you've got a songbird. Again, more of the bird family here. So we have the ostrich, the penguins, the mallards. And now we come to the mammals. So it says we are family. It's trying to be funny here because you and I are included in here. So all of these pictures include organisms that are considered to be mammals. So here are some of the key characteristics of being a mammal. Hair, being warm-blooded, so again endothermic. Having mammary glands, this separates us from most others. Actually all others, not most others, all others. So we have live young, except for 2 species called monotrims, and we'll discuss them in a second. We do have a 4-chambered heart with a double-looping circulatory system, and examples would include polar bears, whales, wolves, bats, platypus, kangaroos, and humans. So these were those exceptions to the rules that we were talking about. Here are the monotrims. These guys are the only ones that do not give birth to live young. So we have the platypus, that's an egg-laying mammal, and also the echidna, again an egg-laying mammal. We have marsupials. So these guys right in here, they carry their young in a pouch. Just examples of those pouches. We have a couple of other organisms here. This is getting a little more into detail. So we have order Rodentia here. So we have a naked mole right here, and then the Chiropetra bat. Order Insectivora. So you guessed it, some of these guys eat insects. I do believe that's a shrew up on top. Little hedgehog. Down below we have order Carnivora, So we have all the carnivores included in here. So we have a red fox, the wolf, the lion, the bear. Order Pinnipedia. So we have a pretty little seal here. Order Artiodactyla. We have a ram. Order Percetodactyla. We have a white rhino, I believe. Order Legumophora. We have this little jackrabbit. Order Cetacea. So we have the whales and dolphins. Order Sirenia. Order Proboscidea. And of course we have primates here. And here we have included Miss Noble and her little son Isaiah. So we are order primates.